Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, Sagittarius, to what I heard through the spiritual grapevine is that you needed a special reading. So I am here to help. Um, this is going to be for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided to readings. I thank you for paying attention to your intuition. Um, you could certainly be in love with the Sagittarius. Something I want to remind people is if you're checking up on like another person's sign, especially if it's relating to love, definitely check their moon sign, because that's where their emotions lie. The sun is kind of like what I show the world, but the inner workings are your moon. Um, and I feel like you could get much more information in that way. Anyway, I don't know why I felt like I had to say that. Real quick, I just want to say that I did start a membership program. I had a lot of people asking me to go live. Um, so I decided to do it in a membership program. It's what's called level two. And we will go live, I'm hoping once a week. And you literally can ask me whatever you want. They are like mini personal readings. It's just for you. But you'll get to know everybody in the room. This is something I had before my channel got hacked, and I just loved it. I mean, you know, we're all soul connected, so um, yeah, I decided to do the program. I was going to do it on another site, and I thought, no, I'm going to keep it here on YouTube, because I did reach out and ask if you guys had any questions for my Beyond the Veil psychic readings, and I got hundreds and hundreds. So I thought, let's go ahead and do this membership program, so that you can get these questions answered. I also want to remind you that your April reading is already, I was going to say for April, it's already done. I'll link it for you in the comment section. I'll actually list or link the whole playlist. So again, if you're looking, seeing where someone else's energy is at, again, I would check their moon if you haven't already. Um, okay. So again, through the spiritual grapevine, I heard you needed a special reading, and I am more than happy to help. So I brought out Mother Mary. We will give her the honor of opening up our reading. The Gilded Tarot. Look at that. Your major arcana on the bottom. I feel like putting it on top. That's good news. Your major arcana showing already. We're not going to take it yet, but that can certainly talk about first patience, but then it's really about trusting in divine timing. That's what your card is all about. Um, we are going to use the Psychic Tarot, which is not a deck I use for you very often, but it's what called today. And we will also use the major arcanas um, for like bullet points, but I love the messages they bring also. So let's go ahead and open up your reading. I'm going to bring the lid down a little bit and see why Sagittarius needs this special reading. I actually put a post out for those who don't know, and I asked what signs, because I could feel that there were some who just needed some extra help. I got a lot of response, and what I'm doing is I'm doing the videos by how many asked of each sign. So you were one of them. Almost every sign reached out. There is one that still has not, but that's okay. All right. I'm going to calm my mind, concentrate on you, Mother Mary, for my beautiful, beautiful Sagittarius. Boundaries. Boundaries. I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. It's like drawing that line in the sand. Don't cross that line unless. So it makes me feel like a lot of you are really understanding what it is you want in your life and what it is you don't want in your life. You know, it's just as important to know what you don't want as what you do want. So we'll see. Boundaries. And I may pull another Mother Mary card at the end of the reading. We will play it by ear, see if we feel like we need it. But we got boundaries, so let's bring in the major arcanas. And anyone who's new, first of all, welcome to the family. But I want to let you know, I do pre-shuffle all the decks. And I spend some time doing that. It puts me in a meditative state. But it really opens me up to our spiritual team and the messages they would like you to hear. All right. We have the Strength card. Boy, I've been getting that a lot. First of all, it's card of Leo. Strength card is, it's your inner demons. It's your inner light. It's also your inner darkness. I feel like in the Strength card's energy, it is an 8. So to me, 8 is about self. But it's also about new beginnings. And I feel like some of you, it's interesting how I said you know what you don't want. Well, in the Strength card, you really are looking at like all parts of yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly. But what you're searching for is balance, like true balance. She's got a pair of goggles on with the infinity sign, as above, so below. We have the Chariot, card of Cancer, Leo's neighbor. That feels like good news, I have to say. Like when I get goosebumps when a card comes out, to me, it's a sign of good news. Good news, good news. All right. We have, hello, Will. Hello, your destiny. Justice. Card of Libra. Potentially cutting ties. But it is to find balance. And by the way, the Chariot doesn't move until balance has been found. It's like ordering a car, it shows up and all 4 tires are flat. Balance. If you remember also that the Chariot is moved by your intentions, not by the reins of the horse, you tell the Chariot where to go. And that's why it's unlimited potential. The only limit is the limit you may place upon it. Or if anybody else was placing any limits, I feel like, well, you now have the sword of justice to cut those ties. And then we have the Moon, card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. We could say double Cancer, but again, I don't really read these as signs. I read them as the energy. The Moon, it can talk about uncertainties, and that can be scary. But it can also talk about very dreamy type energy. I have a feeling for some of you, I do feel like it's talking about your dreams and how can I manifest these dreams? I feel like many of you, well, probably all of you, are heading into, with the wheel here, that means a destined time, and the Chariot taking you there, unlimited potential. Do you believe that? And if you don't, why? Is it due to others? Is it due to my own thought system? The sword of justice is to be used in any way that you see fit, but it's really to bring balance back into your life. When justice shows in a reading, it's about making you whole again, but it probably does need human action. And, that can be scary in the beginning, but ultimately very freeing. It's interesting because I feel like some of you have been doing like deep reflection on oneself. Well, on your life, but really on oneself. Like maybe you're asking yourself, like, what is holding me back? What is, stopping me from accomplishing this? Or just how we saw temperance in the beginning, divine timing, trusting in divine timing, keeping that hope alive. You know, really, your destiny is right in the middle of this spread right now. Something you can ask yourself, considering we're in the last year of a 9-year cycle. And you do want to think about that because next year is the opening of the next 9 years. Okay, wait a minute. How do I want those 9 years to look? Who do I want to bring along for the ride? Who's going to be sitting next to me in the chariot? And even if I'm alone, that's okay. And I say that because I just feel this trust, like you have this trust within yourself, or it's about to happen, that I feel that trust within yourself is going to help you to really manifest some things that you are looking for, but also some things that you're not even expecting yet. Okay. Let's bring in the psychic churro and let's go a little deeper. Let's see what's included or what's part of this destined time that you're entering into. We have intuition. Passion ignited. It's like your heart chakra being activated. I kind of love it coming out of the chariot also, because when I say the chariot really does talk about unlimited potential, I'm not lying. It is the truth. But you have to know that, right? You have to say to yourself, I really do have unlimited potential. Which direction do I want to go? And, when I see the Ace of Wands, which is what this is, it is an action oriented energy. So it's like you're given the inspiration, but then taking that human action. Some of you, it feels like your heart chakra is being activated. Intuition right beside that. That's what you want to trust. That's what you want to trust. Interesting. 21, 2 and 1 equals a 3. So joy. And then we have 7 of Wands, where here it says stand your ground under the wheel. I feel like it's saying don't let anybody talk you out of something that you feel is right for you. Like don't let someone else talk you out of it. Normally this person, you'll see this image and it's like they're defending off attacks. It's like they're putting out fires. I put out one fire, another fire begins. But this person seems to be claiming victory. Like, truly, it feels like they're claiming victory. And 7 is a very spiritual number, also. I love that coming into the wheel. I don't feel like you're defending off attacks. Maybe you were. Maybe that's why Mother Mary brought out boundaries. Okay. Let's keep going. We have shadow. This is the moon. So we have the moon twice, by the way. So double Pisces or double Cancer. Well, actually, triple Cancer. I really love this image because I feel like this image can go right back to the strength card. If you just look at this person's in their light, getting to know their dark, right? Becoming one with it. It's like the light is definitely winning. Well, I don't know if that's the right word, but I do feel like we do need to know all parts of ourselves. And I kind of love that. I feel like you're looking at your shadow self, but through your spiritual eyes, your spiritual wisdom. Also, I want to say something may be happening around a full moon. Let's see, the next full moon, well, it's in Libra. And we have Libra and actually the moon right under it. And then we have accelerated motion. And just look at what this girl's doing, this woman. She's looking up at a star. It's like she's making a wish. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. So this is fast moving energy, accelerated motion, but should be good. I want to make sure you can see everything. Slide everything over just a hair. I know a lot of people want me to do like views, right at the cards, and one day I will. I am saving up um to either get, I don't know yet, a good camera or I mean I love my camera on my laptop, but to shoot overhead. We'll see. With the strength card again. By the way, I have to say that in the last couple readings, 88 has been in each one coming out together. That could signify for some of you, you're born in 88, someone you know. It can talk certainly about two new beginnings. We already have mirroring energy here. We have the strength card mirroring the strength card. We have the moon twice. So you could certainly be coming closer and closer to someone. Again, with the Ace of Wands, says passion ignited. So it's almost like your spiritual team is getting you ready. And I feel like it's going to be really important that you trust your intuition because this is how your signs will be sent. Again, it's signifying that you're moving into a destined period. And to me, that means, well, not always, but I do feel that as souls, if we keep in mind that we're souls having human experiences, we're spiritual beings. The soul is the intellect to our spiritual being. And we came into this lifetime to learn, to grow, to evolve, to have adventures, not to get stuck. Though that itself can be a lesson for the soul. But I am noticing mirroring already. So we'll see. Just keep going. Wisdom. This is the Hierophant. Number 5. 5 stands for change. Makes sense with the Ace of Wands above it. Because the Ace of Wands, it's go time. It's action time. But it's just the beginning. This is about your belief system. It asks you the reason why it's a five is it just wants you to question it. Am I living life according to my terms? If I'm with another, do our morals match or do they not? Again, justice, something that sword is needed for. I feel like you also have been gaining what feels like a lot of spiritual wisdom. Like, I feel like you are ready to spin this wheel. This is also a card of Taurus, by the way. So, wisdom mirroring the chariot with the Ace of Wands in between. Taking your wisdom and what do you want to do with it? I feel like it's unlimited potential, unlimited possibilities. But it is stating that you already have that wisdom, you possess it. And now it feels like it's time for something new. And you're bringing that wisdom along exactly as you're meant to. Well, hello, Ace of Pentacles. I will take it. Let's just say prosperity begins. And, I kind of love this image because if you look at this is two different hands nurturing the same seed. It's like a male and a female. Doesn't have to be a male and a female, but it doesn't feel like they're the same hands. It's coming from two different people. And it's connected to your will, your destiny. So the Ace of Pentacles to me means something that's coming into your physical world. It's tangible. Often you'll see roots attached to this ace. And to me, that means that it can truly take root. Think of this as like a seed that you plant in your garden. You're not just going to plant it and then walk away and never water it or nurture it. You're going to make sure it gets the sunlight it needs. That's what this Ace of Pentacles wants. Just nurture it and it will just grow and blossom and grow and blossom. Two aces already. It makes perfect sense that the Ace of Wands will come out first because this is where the passion's being ignited. This is where, for some, the heart chakra is being activated. And then the Ace of Pentacles is the physical, something or someone coming into my life. We have discontentment and boredom. It's interesting. It did come in reverse. But I'm like, part of me is feeling like, is it reversed? I don't know. So let's talk about what it means. Well, it tells you. That's the one thing with this deck. It literally tells you what it means. Discontentment and boredom. But this is within your emotional life. With the Ace of Pentacles here, I feel like even your intuition and the wisdom you've already gained from your experiences, which is what's helping to usher in this ace because it means you're ready for it and it sits upon your wheel already. Well, in the Four of Cups, you can't see it in this image, but there is a cup coming in. And this is about using your spiritual discernment. Again, I feel another reason why this heart chakra is being activated. I could feel like everything is pretty good in my life, but maybe on an emotional point, I may feel a little lack. I'm not feeling extreme. All right. Well, okay. So We're going to leave them the way they came out. My plan was not to read reversals, but just the way they're coming out. We have emotional withdrawal. Interesting. You have 888. Some of you, there could certainly be three new beginnings. You know what I love though about this image is even though it says emotional withdrawal, this is someone who, first of all, you're bold enough to look within that emotional house to understand it as much as you can. We don't need to get lost in this energy, but it is about finding emotional clarity. Sometimes we blame ourselves for, let's just say, a relationship that didn't go right. But maybe it just wasn't, maybe it just went as far as it was meant to go. But this image of this person sitting by the water's edge, I feel like I'm just letting the tides of the water take my worries away. I'm releasing. And when this person does release, well, what they find is inner harmony. It moves you to the Nine of Cups, which is also about fulfillment of wishes. And then we have financial and material changes. Well, it's in reverse, by the way. Four of Cups was also in reverse. Okay, well, now I get it. This Ace of Pentacles with the Four of Cups in reverse, it literally means I feel that this cup is coming in. I wish I had the image of normally what you will see is there's three cups that this person is focusing on, but there's one cup that's coming in, and to me, it feels like it's coming from the hand of God. So, and your intuition is here right next to passion being ignited. Trusting your intuition, knowing that whatever is being activated within this Ace of Wands, again, it has unlimited potential. But if it's talking about, in your emotional life, well, then to me, this Ace of Pentacles means a cup, potential love. Okay, that's what I was looking at. Financial and material changes. So some of you could have certainly have gone through this. I know a lot of people are losing jobs, just out of the blue. But I want you to know you'll be okay. I want you to know that you already possess the skills, the talent you need. If I have to find a new job, I feel like for some of you, this may talk about a potential relationship that maybe you decided to end, and it could also be tied back to your money. But listen, anything that was lost there, the Ace of Pentacles is going to replace that. It's like, it reminds me of like, when I've left relationships, very seldom did I care about like the furniture and what have I just wanted to go. And I'd leave everything behind except for like, a few things. And then you learn like, okay, I don't really miss all that junk. But anyways, I feel like this is talking about good change that's coming. Keep your hope alive. Trust that these aces will show. And your intuition is going to be a big part of it. To me, it's a signal that your guides are going to send you signs through your intuition. So a feeling, an instinct, and then trust that first instinct. See what's on the bottom of the deck? Well, there you go. There's that hope. This is the star card. This is about your dreams, your wishes. And she is making a wish. And it's like her intuition is going to lead her right to it. Not just her intuition, her spiritual team and her or him. I feel like it's just being guided perfectly. Look at that. Memories of love underneath that. The star card, by the way, is the card of Aquarius. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the Gyoda Tarot. And let's just go ahead and go deeper right away. I mean, I feel I know what these aces are, but I'm hoping our spiritual team brings us clear proof of what I'm thinking. Okay. So we'll start at the beginning, but we're going to read it as a whole. We have Five of Wands in reverse. I like the Five of Wands in reverse. I'll tell you why. In the upright, it's drama. It's drama. It's ego. It's fighting. It's no one wanting to back down. You know, maybe I can't solve this, but what I can do is remove it from my life. You know, I feel like in the Five of Wands, sometimes we had hoped for an apology or someone to claim that, you know what, maybe I was wrong. You don't get it. Normally, you don't get it because there's so much ego. So I feel like this is you leaving that energy. Again, this is what I feel like you must be using that sword of justice on. Now, let's say that you say this is a work situation and I can't just leave my work. But what you can do is don't allow yourself to get pulled into the drama. Just don't allow yourself. It won't serve you. And I don't feel like it's coming from any, I feel like the drama, you know, it feels like gossip. It feels like, it feels, you know, how do I say this? Like I feel like, how dare they? Because I feel like they're talking about other people, but in a very negative way, almost like I'm better than this person, I'm better than that person. But are they? Are they really? Five, five. Some of you you may have actually left a job because of that, but you will rebound, probably stronger than ever. So I'm happy to see that because I feel like what you're doing, or maybe this is a sign for you to think about that. Like, who's causing all this drama in my life? And what can I do about it? Can I separate myself from it? Now, again, if it's family or work life where you really can't separate yourself, well, you can still separate yourself. You know, I feel like just make a statement. You know, there's your boundaries. I'm not going to get pulled into this drama anymore. Some of you could have certainly been somewhat resistant. Um, Especially if it was a group of people, sometimes you just want to belong, but not to this crowd. Look at this. The marriage card over the Ace of Wands, passion ignited. Wow. It's also under the Chariot and mirrored, or not mirrored, but with wisdom underneath it. This is commitment. To me, this is true love. This is my favorite love card because this is about coming together. And, this is the type of energy I feel like, if there's any issues, we'll work it out. No one's kicking and screaming to be here. Everybody wants to be here. Some of you could be blended families. So don't let that worry you. Like if you're a package deal, you're a package deal. But I feel like someone else may also be a package deal. I mean, how beautiful is the Chariot's above that? And how beautiful it came over the Ace of Pentacles. The one place where I really felt your heart chakra is being activated. Man, what a difference of energy all of a sudden. We have Justice again. It's a double Libra. It's in reverse. I have to say it does make me feel a couple different things. First, the first thing I felt is there may be a few who have been resistant to using the sword of justice. And, a lot of people say, what do you mean when you say the sword of justice? Well, I feel like this sword is given to us before we come into this lifetime. Like, I feel like there's certain gifts that we're born with. Our intuition, even sometimes the wisdom, especially past life wisdom. Though I do feel for some of you, you are using this sword. So it's interesting. I'm getting a mixed bag. Stand your ground. Yes. But to what point? I feel like sometimes we have to be okay with not getting the answer that we had hoped for, accepting that, and then moving on. Hmm. She looks like a goddess. Interesting, because I feel like someone may say that to someone. Like, you look like a goddess. We have the Fool. We have a new beginning. We're about to take a leap of faith. That tells me that you are using that sword. That means to me that you are eliminating what's no longer working. You're eliminating who's ever carrying drama. And again, I'm saying eliminating, but let's just say they're not they're not going to be like your person that, wow, I don't know, like, why is this, it's not confusing me. I'm just trying to find the right words. Sag, I feel like so many of you have been evolving. on a spiritual level. Many of you on purpose, like you want your spirituality to be alive, right? You want to be able to trust your intuition. You do know that signs are being sent to you. They're not always clear, especially when our mind isn't clear. And I feel like that's kind of it's like that got in your way for a period of time. But I feel like that, again, is what Mother Mary is saying to you. Like, draw that line in the sand and then mean it. We may have two different people who are going through very similar situations. Just because justice is beside the wheel and now underneath the wheel. But underneath the wheel, it's in reverse. So it feels like for the majority, you are cutting ties. You are allowing yourself to have this new beginning. You're ready to take this leap of faith. And by the way, again, she's wishing upon the star, and the Fool is heading that direction. You know, the Fool under the Four of Cups, discontentment and boredom within my emotional life, but yet there is a cup coming in. Where the Fool tells me the chances are you take this cup. Now, it doesn't have to be love, though we do have the highest form of love on the board. And do I feel like Justice is talking about cutting ties with this? Now, this could be a previous marriage, don't get me wrong, but this is yet to come in because your heart chakra is being activated first. It's like your spiritual team is just getting you on the right path, getting you closer and closer and closer to your own dreams. But let me tell you, it is also your human action. The bold steps that you've taken so far. You know, I feel like it all comes into play. I feel like you know yourself better than you've ever known yourself. I feel that's an important component, especially as it relates to love. Hello, world. Hello, new beginning. Hello, next chapter. Again, we're in the last chapter of that 9-year cycle. The world is the next chapter, the next portal. I love that it's coming over accelerated motion, especially with the Fool right there. It's like you're taking a leap of faith on this new beginning, though it is destined. Maybe you're starting to really feel that and even trust in that. Again, I feel like your spirit guides are doing their job by activating that heart chakra. But it's also because you're ready. All right, we have the Page of Pentacles over the Strength card. Excuse me. Page of Pentacles is all about learning. It's gaining wisdom along this journey. You have wisdom right next to it. Understanding. I feel like, if nothing else, you've really been learning who you are and what you can bring to the table. And you even know the parts of yourself that you don't want to bring to the table. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you've done a lot of clearing. I feel like you know who you are. And I do feel like you know what you want. I even feel like you do know what you don't want. Page of Pentacles is a perfect representation of what we're doing in this lifetime, in every lifetime. We are learning, we are growing, we are evolving, we're remembering who we are. We have the Three of Cups. Well, that's the energy of joy. And that is a reason to celebrate. It's coming over wisdom and mirroring the Chariot. And then we have the Eight of Wands again. Now, right over the Ace of Pentacles. I hope you can see the mirroring energy. Ace of Wands, Ace of Wands. Justice, justice. The moon, the moon. Strength card, the strength card. And a lot of them are even mirroring each other. Eight of Wands, to me, what I think about, I bring about. It is like the law of attraction. It is mirroring your will, your destiny, but it's also fast moving energy. Well, if there's anything I want to move fast, it's that Ace of Pentacles. That just means the growth will be fast. That might be why it's like pointing right up to the marriage card. Let's call it a commitment card. A reason to celebrate. Why? You know who you are now. You have this collective wisdom. And it feels kind of like good rewards or good karma coming back to you. Remember, sometimes justice can talk about karma, talk about karmic relationships. But remember, if you're in a karmic relationship, there was definitely something to learn. All right, keep going. We have the Queen of Cups. Look what she's holding. A cup over the Four of Cups, where there is a cup coming in. She's holding it. And then look at this, the High Priestess again. High Priestess. I'm going to say as your last card, but it's not your last card yet. The High Priestess. Do I feel like people are being intuitively guided towards each other? I do. But I don't think that's the only thing that's happening. I feel like new opportunities are going to show. Especially if you've been dealing with people who were like naysayers, you know. You may have always had something in mind, and you may have had people tell you, well, that's not going to work. You know, but again, you got to look at the source of where it's coming from. Because in the Five of Wands, I don't feel spirituality. It's all about the ego. And when you really move into a spiritual state, it's letting the ego go. Right? It's my intuition that replaces it. I even love the High Priestess coming below the world, your next chapter. So, intuitively, you are being guided. All right, let's go right below it. Excuse me. You know, how soon does the world's energy open up? I feel like that's up to you because it's you as the fool. And remember, the fool means a new beginning. The fool has learned not to carry the past with them, only the wisdom. Well, we have wisdom right here. So we know that's part of what the fool carries. We know the fool's heart chakra is already being activated. This is what they're taking a leap of faith on. But this is opening up a new chapter. And then look at this, the beautiful Knight of Pentacles. One of my favorite, and oh my gosh, I just realized, and look what follows that. The Knight of Cups. Holy cow. All right, we'll start with the Knight of Pentacles first. So I feel like this is guardian angel energy. This Knight of Pentacles has a couple different messages. The first one is patience. But as a Sagittarius, this is something you do have to learn. You know, you're fire, you want to go, I want to go, I want to go. But sometimes patience is needed. This is about trusting in divine timing. This Knight tells you I come at the right time, not before, not after. That must mean there are certain human actions we need to take first. But once this Knight shows, and what does this Knight bring? The Ace of Pentacles. We already see it. And I do not feel like it's a one-time thing. It's like spiritual wisdom is continuously fed to you. And with this information, whatever you're receiving through the Knight of Pentacles, it's truly meant to enhance your life, and it will enhance your life. And then the Knight of Cups. How interesting it just happens to be under the marriage card, the Ace of Wands. Again, not to, sound like a broken record, but this Knight of Cups speaks about unexpected couple fulfillment. Well, again, that heart chakra being activated. To me, I see the roadmap. I see like what your spiritual team is trying to show you. We have, oh my gosh, the Ace of Pentacles over the Ace of Pentacles. We have the beautiful Magician under the reversal of the Four Cups. And the Queen of Cups, by the way, the Queen of Cups can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But honestly, I feel like it's you holding that cup. And then, hello, Star. So the Star went from the bottom onto the spread. Manifesting your dreams. Manifesting your wishes. The Magician is the Fool's first mentor along any new journey. The Magician teaches the Fool, you already possess everything you need to be successful on this new journey. We're guiding you. But this is also your human action. And there's that infinity again. But it's showing your power to manifest the life that you'd really like to see. The Knight of Cups is unexpected. And that's life, right? We got to be able to go and flow with some things that are just completely unexpected. You can always say no. None of this is forced upon you. But in a way, if you see the beauty of it, it's like, I'll take it. I'll take it. Ace of Pentacles over the Ace of Pentacles. My God, are we mirroring someone? This Knight of Cups. He says, I bring in this unexpected couple fulfillment, but then the Ace of Pentacles shows, literally saying it's coming into your physical world. And boy, is it meant to. Because both these aces are mirroring your destiny. But I feel like we have two people's destiny here. I feel like we're looking at your future spouse. If the two of you choose to get married, the commitment will be there. The love, oh, it'll be there. If you're starting to feel, and that's the thing, I feel you're going to feel it. Let's just put it this way. You feel that there's something better out there. Maybe you can't put a name to it yet. The day will come when you can put a name to it. This is not just about love, though. This is about how your life is truly being enhanced because of human actions you've taken. You're no longer taking the drama. You're cutting ties to, you know, just what no longer suits you. You have goals in mind, and I feel like you are going to manifest those goals. Wow. So, a special reading. Here's why I feel like you needed that this special reading. I feel like you have been dealing with some difficult energy. Some of it can be planets that were in retrograde, but I feel like they're people, to be honest. And you know how I opened this reading saying you're learning what you no longer want and what no longer is working, what is holding you back, holding you down. And can you free yourself? The answer is yes. But are you willing to? And again, the mirroring energy, to me, it would have to be a soulmate. So, with that in mind, I think what I want to look at is the Knight of Cups. We have the Page of Wands, my little risk taker. This is like your inner child. This is not a fear-based energy. And what I love about the Page of Wands is this is someone who has learned how to get back up again. You know, you can knock me down, but I will get back up again. Maybe it's taken a while to figure that out. That's okay. You know, I feel like there's no pressure. There's no judgment. It's like when you're ready, the energy's ready. So it is like taking a risk. No, I shouldn't say a risk because it doesn't feel like a risk. Though you could say that to yourself, taking a chance. And I call this person my fool all the time. Well, again, we're kind of have mirroring energy here. But I also want to say, for some of you, because under the star is memories of love, that is Six of Cups. Rejoice and celebration underneath that. Interesting. So some of you, it could be someone you already know. Doesn't mean you had a romantic relationship. You know, we are seeing your younger self. I'm not going to say that's for everyone, but I do feel like it's for a few. And I feel like here's your clue. If this is someone you know, then they too probably needed to cut ties, at least with one person, maybe a relationship. They too needed to go within and overcome like the inner dealings of oneself. they too are making wishes. Okay. Whoa, I don't even know where that card went. Wow. It better be good. The Three of Pentacles. I'll take it. I'll tell you why I'll take it over the Knight of Cups. Because the Three of Pentacles is about your individuality. And it's about other people admiring you for who you are. I have a feeling this drama of the past could stem from a little bit of jealousy. You know, not who you are. I wish I could be. You think you're better than the rest of us, but that's not true. That's just their perception of, because they're lacking certain emotions. But, anyways, this is not about the past. This is about the potential of what can be. So, we're looking at love right now, and Three of Pentacles is perfect for that. This is about each recognizing each other on a soul level. This is about each saying, there's nothing you need to change about yourself. Like, I accept you for exactly who you are, all parts, and you the same for them. To me, this also means soul recognition. I may not know that going in, but it won't take long to figure that out. Now, how do you figure that out? They're going to feel different. It's going to feel different. It's going to be different. There's not drama attached to it. I'm not going to say everything, I can't promise that everything will flow freely, though it does have that potential. Okay, let's come up and look at the Four of Wands. All right, so first we get the Death card. Card Scorpio. Death card is, it's endings, it's closing doors, but it's a promise of a brand new door opening up. Always. That's why you don't want to fear the Death card. Really, when the new door opening opens up, that's when we're really living. I have a feeling that relates back to justice. King of Wands. So, if nothing else, like-minded energy. And then the Hierophant. I feel like this is saying that who you potentially, I say potentially, because it does need your human action to take place. But I feel like potentially, when this comes together, where before I feel like you were dealing with someone or people where I just feel like your morals were different, your expectations were different, maybe even your belief systems. Now you have someone who matches those morals, who matches your faith. And I'm not talking about religion. Like someone who would care about other people. Not someone who would make fun of other people. The opposite. Like, very clearly, my guides want me to say, oh no, it's the opposite of that. It's interesting. Something is making me feel for probably just a few of you that this person could be a spiritual leader, you know, could lead a church, a synagogue, something like that, or just a spiritual leader in their community, like someone where people they come to them for wisdom, for advice. And I feel like this person is happy to give it. And I feel like they know what they're talking about. And the wisdom and the advice that they give is coming from the light. So I feel like they're very good at what they do. And I do feel like this is going to be your future partner, if you so choose. All right, let's move over to the world. I'm not going to over clarify, but I do want a couple questions answered. So let's look at the Fool that's moving into the world. We have the Strength card in reverse. Eight of Swords. And then the Tower. Okay. Boy, I feel like this is giving a very particular answer. Or I feel like it's asking a particular question. So we start with the Strength card. Well, we open the reading up with the Strength card, mirrored by the Strength card. This is in reverse. And then what followed the Strength card, what followed the Strength card was the Eight of Swords in the upright. It's a self-created prison. This is blocking potential. This is when you're not trusting in your intuition. So you put barriers around you to try to protect yourself. Your spiritual team is yelling to me, that's what we're for. That's our job. You don't need these walls. Especially when you see the High Priestess so much in your reading. That's what you want to listen to. So, the only person who can uncreate this energy is the one who created it. And this is a human emotion, not spiritual. This is what we do until we know better. And then that follows by a tower. So I feel like it's saying we either are clearing energy, we either are putting down these walls, looking within ourselves. We can find the answers within ourselves. But in the Eight of Swords, it's very hard to pick up on signs. You're not going to believe them. You'll second guess them. But I feel like this is a perspective. Okay, I get that. But I want to look at it again, but with a different perspective. I feel like that Eight of Swords could also be because the moon can certainly, again, represent uncertainties. And there are a lot of people who are uncomfortable with that. Like, I want to know where this is leading, but sometimes you can't know because you're writing the chapter as you go. How do you want this chapter to look? Look at this, the wheel. So, the different perspective, and look what it brings out. It's like it's saying, sometimes you can't trust those human emotions. Sometimes you can't trust what other people tell you, especially if it's lacking. Like you lack in this, you lack in that, but you don't. That's the thing. No, you don't. Now, I love the Fool moving right into destiny, moving right into the world, your next chapter. What a difference a perspective can give you. I can either fear change or I can roll with it. I know where the problems lie. I know who's been bringing problems to my doorstep, but I'm going to close that door and lock that door. And that opens up the new. Okay. You are definitely mirroring someone and they're mirroring you. But it feels like exactly as it was meant to be. All right, I'm going to bring out the clarifying love situations. But a big thing I want to say, Sagittarius, is like, I feel like I know where you've been. I feel like it hasn't been easy. But you are someone who is action oriented. So ask yourself, has anyone caused you to stop believing in yourself? Really think about this because, again, this is the last year of this 9 year cycle, and then the new 9 years opens up. Well, destiny being part of that. I love that. The fool being part of that. I'm not taking the crap from the past with me, only the wisdom. And that's why the fool's able to take that leap of faith. I'm not remembering all the bad things, all the times I've had my heart broken. Maybe it just hasn't been my time yet. And maybe now is that time. Okay, let's give them a cut. The more I use this deck, the more and more I love it. And it doesn't just deal with love. That's one of the reasons why I really I'm coming to love it. Okay. And also there's a message on each side, so whichever way the card comes out is your message. Beautiful. Magic within. Create space for personal growth and self-discovery. Magic within. Envy's turmoil, obsessed hearts, and jealous minds brew a storm of unyielding chaos. Hello, hello, hello. That's exactly what I felt. But now you understand where it's coming from, not based on anything other than their own jealousy. And when I say jealousy, it doesn't always mean like I'm jealous of you with someone else. Maybe I wish I was more like you. And because I'm not, then I'm jealous. And because I'm jealous, I'm going to strike out. That's their inner work that they need to do. It's really not your issue, but someone's made it your issue. But I feel like you're reclaiming your power. Okay. Let's bring let's bring out the romance angels. I wasn't going to bring them out unless love showed, because I didn't want to make it just a love reading. But boy, did love show. But honestly, some of you don't even know it yet, even though I am telling you. But I have a feeling a lot of you were guided here. And I feel like the reason why you were guided here is to help give you hope that your future can look very bright. But you do need to know, like, again, what's been getting in your way? Whose bullshit have you been buying? You know what I mean? And now it's like you're coming back to yourself. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Well, we did have the Five of Pentacles in reverse down here. And then we have, wow, someone from your past is returning to your life. Six of Pentacles or Six of Cups right there. Now, I do want you to know though, just going to talk about past lives also. And I say that because I felt the energy of soulmate. I do feel like in the Four of Wands, these two people are soulmates. It's very clear with the mirroring energy. And we now also have two wheels, two people's destiny. It's like love in the clouds, love in the clouds. And I feel like they're in the clouds because it just hasn't reached me yet. And it is unexpected. All right. Now, I don't know that that's for everyone, though I do want to say that I'm feeling more like it's interesting because I just did a past life reading and I loved it. But I always love my past life readings. What I do is I do past life moving into present life and what has followed you from a past life. It was really quite a beautiful one, and there was love that followed. So, and that is really open to all signs. Okay. Oh, well, hello. Hello, true love. Sagittarius. This is a romance of a lifetime. This is your true love. You know, sometimes we have to kiss a lot of frogs before we meet our prince or princess. But each frog has taught us something. Sometimes it's to take a leap away. Trust. Trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. We have literally the word faith on your spread, written in your spread. The situation is calling for you to have faith. This is your true love. For some of you, you already know who this person is. For others, I really feel for everyone. It's a soulmate. You know, could be twin flame, though I kind of don't want to put a title to it. I'm saying a soulmate because you will recognize each other's souls. I know that through the Three of Pentacles. This is a romance of a lifetime. And all you need to do is trust, is to have faith. She was wishing upon a star, and then the star showed. And the star is connected to this next chapter, which just so happens to be a destined time. Well, if it's a destined time, it makes perfect sense that a destined soulmate would be part of that. This feels like the time of your life. All right. I think I am going to do one more Mother Mary card over this. I'm just feeling called to do that. Not that I feel like, well, I shouldn't say that. I was just going to say, not that I feel like we need it, because if Mother Mary is calling for it, then we must need it. So, now with everything on the table, Mother Mary, Truth. First thing that came to my mind is like Sandy is telling the truth. I am lovingly honest with myself and others. So, boundaries. I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. And then your truth and my truth. Because I felt that. I really did. I felt like my spirit guides are like, this is your truth, Sandy. Or let's put it a different way. The reading is the truth. I'm lovingly honest with myself and others. But you also know who to give your energy to and who not to. Listen, I feel like your past has taught you so much. And I do feel like if we are able to look back without judgment, like, what the hell was I thinking? Yes, I was going to say a different word. What the hell was I thinking? Well, maybe you were meant to learn whatever it was you learned. And I swear, I feel like a lot of times, I feel like this is just one of the lessons, but it's what I don't want, right? Maybe I had a partner who faith meant nothing, but it means a lot to you. Okay, well, maybe I was with people or someone who was really putting a limit on my dreams, making me feel I couldn't manifest the life that I pictured for myself. Again, look at the source. This is from your spiritual team. This is your truth. This is a true love. And I am telling you, I feel for some of you, I'm looking at your future spouse. And I say some because I don't feel like everyone wants to get married or remarried. But if you do, then I feel like it's going to happen. Whether we get married or not has nothing to do with whether we love each other. To me, it's very, very clear the type of love this is. The only reason I say that is because I'm someone who, like, I don't really care if I get married again, but I am in a committed relationship. Holy cow. Sagittarius, wow, wow, wow. It's like, I do feel like we do need to understand where we've been so we know where we're going. We do need to learn to put the past in the past, which is a symbol to the universe that I am open to the new. And then let your guides guide you to your true love. But not just true love. I feel like also your money. Like that seems to be amplified. And by the way, I feel like this love, I feel like there's so many things that are alike about the two of you. I'm not going to say everything is alike because that might be a little boring. But let's just say anything is different. I feel like you'll learn from each other. You'll help each other evolve even more. Okay, I'm going to let that be. I am so glad I did this reading because I feel like I know what you've been going through. And I feel like your guides want you to know the potential of your tomorrow. One more time, remember, we're in the last year of this 9-year cycle. And this year, it's a year of the Hermit. It really is meant to reflect upon your life, what you want to bring along for the next 9 years and what you don't. That's why we're seeing the full. So you can have a brand new, fresh beginning. Doesn't have to mean all areas of your life are changing, but listen, when I do feel like when one area changes, it helps change the other, which helps change the other. Next thing I know, I'm like, how did I get into this beautiful life? You followed your intuition. All right. I love you guys. Thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. And by the way, I love it when you guys reach out and be like, I need a special reading. Because this is how it all started. Like a couple people, or more than a couple people, just like, Sandy, can you do a special reading? And then other signs are like, us too. And then other signs. So then I ended up doing a post like, who needs a special reading? And all the signs, but some more than others, except for one sign, which is really odd. But anyway, I don't want to take any beauty away from this beautiful reading. I love you guys. Again, I thank you, and I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.